What's up, it's Austin here from Make Pop Music and Austin Hall Audio, and today I want to show you how to make these 3 essential pop guitar tones. What's up everyone, it's Austin here with Make Pop Music and Austin Hall Audio, and today we are back with another video. And for today's video, I wanted to kind of start a series, which we've never done on the channel before, but we get so many questions on how to make guitar tones or how to process guitar for pop music, and there are so many different kinds of tones and playing techniques and styles, so I figured we might as well just start a kind of small little series. So today is going to be episode 1, and for today's episode, I wanted to cover what's probably the most essential style of guitar tone that you should know how to make if you're producing or writing pop music, and that is those clean, chorusy, kind of 80s inspired tones. So for today, we're going to be taking a look at 3 different examples that'll kind of show you the parameters of a tone in this style. So we're going to look at Hold On by Bieber, we're going to be looking at We're Good by Dua Lipa, and we're going to be looking at how to get some 1975 style tones for something like Girls or any of those kind of alternative pop bands. So today we're going to go over all of those tones. I'll kind of show you how to select your pickups, how to select the right guitar, get a good DI, and then how to actually go in and process all of these. So if you want, like, comment, and subscribe. It definitely helps us out if you enjoy this video. Let us know if you want us to do more episodes like this on different style guitar tones, and most importantly, if you want to download these guitar tones, I am going to leave a link in the description where you can go pick these 3 up for free, and let me know. I'll probably be dropping more guitar tones in the future. Before I chat too much, let's go ahead and hop in the DAW, and I'm going to show you how to make these 3 tones. Alright, so we are hopping into the session right now. I'm going to show you how to make 3 tones, but before we go into tones, I do want to chat a little bit about DI going into a computer, because it's one of the most essential things for getting a good guitar tone. So on all 3 of these today, I'm using a Fender Strat. Fender Strat is normally going to be my go-to for any kind of clean pop guitar tones. It's just got a nice kind of round low and mid. It's got a nice super shiny bright top end, and it just really works for any kind of pop clean guitar tone. I also have like a Gibson Les Paul that I'll use if I want to do like distorted tones or like crunchy solos, or if I'm going to do like palm mutes and chugs and stuff like that. But for this, a Stratocaster is going to be my go-to. If you have like a Fender Tele, that could also work really well. Generally, any kind of single coil pickup. So we chatted a little bit about the guitar. Let's also chat about the pickups. I do prefer single coil for all of these clean pop tones. You'll kind of hear that they're extra spanky, extra bright, extra punchy. But with that said, there are different types of single coils. So on all 3 of these, I'll kind of tell you what pickup position I used. So on Hold On, we were in the middle pickup. On We're Good, we were in the middle pickup, so position 3 on both of those. And then on Girls, we were all the way on the neck pickup, so position 5. So I'll either go with the middle pickup or the neck pickup or the position in between where it's the middle and the neck blended, and that will typically give me that round, warm, but still super bright pop tone that I'm wanting. So here's what the guitar DI sounded like going in for all 3 tones. So for Hold On, I'm literally just tracking this into an Apollo. I do have it going through my Heritage HA81A, but there's no EQ or anything happening, so it's basically just DI, and it sounds like this. So that's what it sounds like for the Bieber one, and then here's for Dua Lipa. And then for 1975, here's what these sound like, and I double track this, but we'll get to that in a minute. So as you can hear, the guitar that's coming through is crystal clear. These are not even new strings. These strings have been on for probably a month or 2. But if you're getting a good DI, you can get that spank that you're wanting, and you can kind of find a way to brighten it up with the tone. So let's go ahead and let's start making the tone for Hold On. So for all of these today, I'm going to be using Guitar Rig. So if you want to download these presets, they will be for Guitar Rig 5. I don't know if they also work in Guitar Rig 6, but they're free, so you can download them and try them if you want. But I'm going to make them from scratch so I can kind of show you what I'm listening for when I create a tone. So let me go ahead and get just a little loop set up, just so we can kind of hear it on repeat. And then typically what I'll do is I'll kind of start with some kind of dynamic control. So a fast compressor is typically all I want for like a clean guitar, just to catch the peaks before it hits an amp. And that's going to do it for me. I don't need anything too crazy. I just like this being simple with attack, and then the input and the makeup gain, which I don't need to touch because my levels were fine coming in. And then for the amp, this is going to be the most important part of all three of these tones. So for this tone, we're going to be using the Jazz amp. This is modeled after a Roland Jazz Chorus 120. So if you have a different guitar plugin that you're using, just find whatever they're calling, like the Jazz amp or the Clean Chorus amp. Any kind of amp that's going to have this chorus and vibrato modulation built in is exactly what you want. So let's go ahead and start kind of sculpting out this tone. Before I do this, let me make one quick distinction, and that is, this is a mono-track guitar. However, we are on a stereo track because we're going to want chorus and modulation and reverb. These are all going to be stereo effects where we're kind of creating this big wide soundscape. So if you have them on a mono track, it's just going to collapse towards the middle. So in Cubase, I'm just going to have a stereo track, and now I've got this Jazz amp. The first thing I want to do before I tweak anything is hit the stereo button so we can kind of hear. So it's already getting the right vibe. Now we just need to actually tweak. All right, so for this, I think what I want to do is I want a little bit more bass, maybe a little bit more mid, and then a lot less treble. And I think I need to drive this rate up and this depth up, maybe just a little. So there are normally two things that you're looking for when you're working with a chorus, whether that's a built-in chorus on an amp or an extra chorus plugin, and that is rate and depth. So rate is going to be how fast that chorus modulates, and depth is going to be how intense it sounds. So I'll kind of shoot overboard so you can really hear. So this is a kind of a subtle chorus, but as we get into a chorus pedal later, you'll see how intense they can really get. So I'm going to have the rate kind of high because it is kind of a warbly sound, and then I'm going to have the depth right here, and let's just drag this to mic A over here. Just to warm it up a little bit for me. And I think that that's probably a fine place to start. So now what I want to do is I want to add, I think I need a little bit of delay and a little bit of reverb. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little quad delay. I don't want this super wet, and I am going to make sure that this is in tempo sync, and then I'm just going to set this for like a 16th note because I just want something pretty fast and not too much feedback. And that's just going to smear it a little bit just to kind of give me everything that I need. I don't need a ton of delay. I just need it to help it kind of sit in the mix. And then for reverb, I'm going to do something kind of similar where it's not a ton, but I'm going to use the reflector, and then I will go to the big halls and kind of see where we're at right here. And that's pretty much all I'll need. Sometimes on guitar, if I don't want it to be super like spanky and transient, I'll just throw L2 on just to make sure that we're kind of killing any transients that do pop up. And I'll set that to something like dynamic, and that would be a good starting place for that tone. So that's kind of how I'd build the tone in the production session, and then in the actual mix, that's where I'd hit it with any extra EQ, reverb, or compression. But that's kind of the gist of the hold-on tone. Now let's go do the same exact thing with We're Good. So this is a Dua Lipa track. And it's going to be kind of a similar thing where we're going to build it out with some chorus and then kind of make it unique. So for this tone, I do want to use a different amp because that chorus on that other amp is just not going to have the speed and depth that I need. So for something like this, I'm just going to go ahead and use like the twang reverb, just modeled after a Fender, and we'll go ahead and kind of drive this treble down. I do want a little bit of reverb, so what they have is probably fine. And that's going to be good for now. We'll come back if we need to, but the main part of this is going to be the modulation that they have. So this is kind of a chorus, but it's way faster than what was on the Bieber tone. So let's go ahead and just take a listen. So for this, I know it's a super fast moving chorus. I'm going to drag it pretty much all the way up, drag the bass up, drag the mids up, and drag the treble down. that's pretty good. You know what? Maybe we'll add a little EQ because there is a little bit of mud down there. And then that would be about it. So I'll just add a little parametric EQ because I don't think we'll need anything insane. And then I'll go ahead and add that Pro L2 again, just to kind of catch any last minute peaks. And then we should be pretty good on this. And then for this, I'll probably turn the gate up just so on those like little smacks, it's super tight. So now you can hear it's kind of a similar thing that we did, clean amp with chorus, but it definitely sounds different than this Bieber tone. The chorus is a lot faster and a lot deeper, and that's just going to give us that kind of really, really twangy, specific tone that you're hearing, and we're good. All right, so now let's go ahead and make the guitar tone for Girls. So for Girls, I went ahead and double tracked it. In the actual song, there's some different stuff happening on the left and right, but you can tell by the width of the guitars that there is a left guitar and a right guitar. Sometimes they're playing different things, sometimes they're playing in unison, but it's definitely two different guitar takes. But we'll get to that in 1 second. Let's go ahead and start creating an actual tone for this. So here is the dry signal. So let's go ahead and start processing. All right, so we're in Guitar Rig again. I'm just gonna go ahead and drag that fast comp. I'll probably set the attack a little bit shorter just because this is kind of a plucky riff. Go ahead and get that gate set. And then for this one, we're going back to that same amp we used for Bieber, that Jazz Chorus amp, and immediately swap it to stereo so you can hear. I mean, that's 90% of the tone right there, so I'll drag the rate and the depth down a little bit, drag the bass down because this is kind of a bright, kind of shrilly tone. And then for somebody like the 1975, when they use their reverb, they're most of the time using some kind of spring reverb. It's just got a lot of character and a lot of like sauce to add to it, so if we drive it up, you'll kind of hear. And then let's go ahead and add some EQ just so we can kind of get rid of any problem areas. So I think right here we'll probably need some mids out. Because in their song, it is just kind of a pretty dry, standard tone. There's really nothing insane happening. And then go ahead and set this just so we don't get any peaks. Now for this tone, you could stay there if you want a single track. However, this tone really comes to life when you double track it, so let's go ahead and take a look. These are two separate guitar takes. You can see guitar in 14 and guitar in 15. So two totally separate takes, but it's the same exact tone, panned left and panned right. So that's what it sounds like dry. Let me go ahead and turn the tones on for you. And this is what it'll sound like with both of them together. And you can see that it's really simple. It's literally just pretty much everything we just did. This one I ended up kind of doing a full shelf. After I duplicated it, it just still had a little bit of low end. So instead of just doing that notched bell, I just changed it out for a shelf. So that's really the only difference that I would make if I'm duplicating it, is maybe take out a little bit of extra low end. And then other than that, that is pretty much it. As you can see, it's just a really, really simple tone. Just the Jazz amp with the depth down a little bit, going all the way over to mic A, and then that's pretty much it. And then everything together sounds like this. And then we have this for the Bieber tone. And then this for the Dua Lipa tone. And those are three essential 80s inspired chorus clean pop tones. All right, and that's going to do it for this video. As you can see, it really is all about getting a good DI and then knowing how to process these pretty simply. These tones are really nothing insane. It's just getting a really, really good clean amp, either normally like the jazz chorus or something like the Fender reverb, and then just processing those with some chorus, some vibrato, and probably some reverb and compression here and there. But that's pretty much going to do it for these tones. Again, like I said in the video, there is no shortage of ways to process these or mix these. This is really just how to get that encompassing sound, so then you can tweak it for your own mix and your own production style. But hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Go download these presets for free, and if you want to check out more of our content, you can head over to makepopmusic.com and check out all of our free and paid goodies over there. But that's going to do it for this video. We will see you guys next week. That's it for now. Much love. Peace.